All right. So let me quickly share my screen. I'll not take a lot of time, so not to waste the speaker's time, okay? But it's very important. The new members we have know how to navigate through the Royal Q app, okay? So we have the home button, we have the strategy, we have the circle, the news, and the mine button. So I'm going to start with the home button. Now, below we can see an announcement, okay? If you have not read it and you're interested in reading, you just scroll up and read what is below. But if you have already read it, just tap on the X on top of it. Then at my top left corner, we would see all these exchanges. These are the exchanges you can connect your Royal Key robot with. Then these two buttons. The first one is the security log. Anytime you make a withdrawal or you log into your Royal Q account, you are going to see login successful. So once you open it, you would see the device that was used to log in, the date and the time, even the operating system, okay? But if you know you are the one, just tap on read all, then they will all vanish. The same way when you make a withdrawal from your Royal Q account, that is monies you've made from team building or someone transferred it to you, you'll be able to see a notification of the withdrawal alert. Okay, so let's go to the profit details. So with the profit details, it displays the profit that you are making from your trade. You can see that every day varies, okay? Not every day that is payday. Some days are good, some days are bad. It all depends on the market. But this profit, one cannot withdraw it out. Why? Because uh, your trading capital is not on Royal Q. Your trading capital is with you in your personal exchange, okay? So once you tap on it, you'll be able to see all the coins that gave you those the total profit that you see recorded there. If you are not trading on the spot, you are trading on the futures, you tap on futures to get the results as well. All right, so let's move out and go to strategy. So with the strategy, when you tap on the search button here, you'll be able to use it to search for a coin. Okay, for instance, we've been getting a lot of signals on our groups. So if you want to search, you just tap on the search and type the name of the coin. Okay, so I hope that aspect too is clear. Now, on the mine button, this is where you would see your fuel fees. Strategy fuel, that is if you deposited into the strategy fuel. And the money that you deposit here, one cannot withdraw it out. Then the reward bonus is what you get from your team building, or if you had some assets before they introduce the strategy fuel, that money is being transferred into reward bonus. Okay, so that is it. Fuel fees are deducted. You would see the deductions of the fuel fees under the history record. Okay, so without wasting much time, I will invite our presenter for this evening to take over. So, Rabbi, kindly, the speaker is yours. You are welcome, please. I would give you the microphone now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Doris, for the opportunity. Please, can you hear me?
Yep. We can all hear you. Thank you.
All right. So, today we are going to look at the futures trade. We'll look at just 1, 2, 3 main things that, if time permits us. But we'll start with one thing that most people are not aware of when it comes to trading futures on all the exchanges, and that is the funding fee. Okay, so funding fee is the first thing I want us to look at, because when it comes to the setting up the board and how do you call it, binding or opening the futures, the leaders have done a lot of videos and lessons on them. So if you need anything like that, I think you can access those videos on the YouTube channels. Okay, so I want to talk about the funding fee, and then hopefully we'll look at how to use maybe a stop loss, and then as to whether DCA or the margin call drops is helpful in futures trading. Okay, so with a funding fee, every exchange charges a funding fee. Okay, but then the funding fee is dependent on the time and then the percentage that has been allocated to a particular coin. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and then I'll take us through how to see whether a funding fee is going against you, and then whether it is okay to trade on a particular coin, looking at the funding fee that has been allocated to that coin. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay. Please, is my screen sharing?
Yeah, we can see your screen, please. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so when you log into your Binance this way, now you come to futures at the bottom of your screen. You come to, I don't know if Zoom has anything I can use to direct to be writing on the
Uh,
screen.
you are using an iPhone, right?
Yes, iPhone.
It's not possible unless you screenshot, then you use the pencil on
The
the
pencil. Okay.
screenshot. Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately. Yeah.
All right. So this is where you can locate the funding fee. Now, when you come into your futures account this way, and then you tap on the futures, let me select a different color. Okay. So you tap on futures here, and then you realize that it will open and give you this interface. It will give you this interface, right? Then when you check at the extreme right corner of your screen, okay, so this is the BTC assets that we are trading on. So when you look at the left corner of my screen, you see BTC USDT. I believe we can see that. So the BTC USDT is the asset, assuming that's the asset we are trading on. Up here, over here. Okay. So if this is the asset you are trading on, and then let me circle it again. Okay. And then the funding fee is shown at the right corner of your screen. So when you look at the right side of my screen here, you will see funding slash countdown. Then the first part there is negative 0.013% stroke. Then the countdown is 5 hours, 40 minutes. Okay. So the reason why it's important to check funding fee for a coin is that if the funding percentage that you are seeing here for BTC, if it is -1 or -1.0 something, or let's say -0.1, it means that the funding fee is very high. So if you have the first value -1, or let's say the first value is negative 0 point, then the next value comes to 1 or 2 or 3, right after the point, and then there is a number. If it's not 0 and it's a number, the second point. If it's not 0 and it's a number, it's not advisable to trade the coin if the countdown is closer to starting again. Okay, so let me look for another coin so that we can look at what I'm talking about. So let me try and find another pair here. So let me see. Let me look at the most performing coin for today. Yes. Okay. Okay, this is also good. Oh, great. Great. So now let's look at this particular coin, HUSDT. Okay. Now look at HUSDT. The funding percentage here is negative 0.5. Negative 0.5. This means that this funding rate is high. And then the countdown we have here is 1 hour 37 minutes. It means that if you are going to pick a trade on this particular asset, okay, and you are looking at a bigger time frame before your trade closes, it wouldn't be advisable to trade this coin, especially if your capital is huge or you are trading with a huge capital. Why? Because the funding fee percentage you are seeing there will be used to calculate against your capital, and then this money will be taken away from you. So most of the time, if you are shorting, okay, if you are shorting the market and the funding rate is high, the money will be taken away from you and be given to whoever is longing that same asset on the other end. So funding fees are usually given to traders. It's distributed among traders. So if I am longing this particular asset, and let's say that Doris is shorting this asset with a very high or huge capital, because this funding rate is high, it's almost 1, it's 0 point, negative 0.5. Because it's high, they will calculate it. Let me tap on it, and then you see the explanation that will be given. So let's read this place. It says that the previous funding rate, it means that 0.21% of your capital will be deducted from your money. So assuming I pick a trade on this asset, actually I'm not using my phone, I would have picked a trade, and then we will see the estimated funding fee that will be allocated there. If you pick a trade and then you come and tap on the funding fee to check, you will realize that they will indicate the estimated funding fee for you, where you see the funding fee written here, estimated funding fee. They will calculate it and then put it at that area for you to see how much you will pay if the countdown should reach its level. Some of the coins, their countdown is 8 hours, others are 4 hours, some are even 2 hours. So depending on that particular coin's countdown. Okay, so if you enter the trade, let's say when the countdown is around 4 hours downwards, and the trade has not closed. If the trade has not closed, it will continue counting down till the 4 hour is exhausted. Once the 4 hour is exhausted, whatever estimated funding fee that has been indicated here for you will be deducted from your capital and be given to um, whoever is longing that same asset on the other end. And with funding fees, most of the time, most of us don't pay attention to it. It can drain you, and it's painful than liquidation. But most of us have not yet paid attention to this. So anytime you want to trade an asset, make sure that your funding fee is either negative 0.0 something. So there should be a 0.0 before, let's say, a number will come. If it's negative 1.0 something, or negative 0.1 or 2 or 0.3 above, it's huge. At least there should be a 0 after the decimal, then any value at all, before you can trade that coin, or before it's advisable to trade on that coin. Or if you still want to trade that coin, then you must look at the countdown. So looking at this particular coin, the countdown we have here is 1 hour 33 minutes. If you look at the top right corner, you see that the countdown is 1 hour 32 minutes. It's now 32 minutes. So if you are going to trade on this coin, the funding fee is high. It's negative 0.4. It's huge. If you calculate this against your trading amount or the capital that is in the trade, you realize that it's very huge. So it will not be advisable to trade, especially if you are trading with, let's say, $500 capital or $1,000 capital. You are going to pay a huge funding fee, and that one is more painful than even liquidation. So we should take note of funding fees. So if you are going to trade an asset and the funding rate is -1 or -0.1, then it's best you refrain, especially if the countdown is almost over. Okay, so that is one thing, or the first thing I want us to look at. I don't know if anybody has a question concerning that. Then the next thing I want us to look at is the DCA. Trading with a DCA, that is the dollar cost averaging or margin call drops. Now, a very big mistake that we have not taken note of is to trade futures with margin calls. It is not advisable to trade futures with margin calls. Why? Because the futures that we are trading, we are actually borrowing a capital to trade. So when you are trading futures with margin calls, it's like you are calling for more load on yourself when you don't even have the strength to carry the initial load already. So most of the time, at first, I was trading futures with margin calls, but later I realized that the more margins I buy, the more the liquidation price comes closer to the current price. Why? Let me give a simple scenario. Assuming you are building a house, okay, and then you use, let's say, 10 blocks to build a house, and you realize that the building has become weak. The building has become very weak, but yet you decide to add more blocks to the building. Meanwhile, you have realized that it has become weak. What do you think will happen? The building is going to collapse. That is liquidation. So if you are trading with a borrowed funds, or you are trading with leverage on futures, once you are trading with leverage on futures, and let's say you are longing an asset and the market goes against you, it is not best to open margin calls, because when you open margin calls, it's like you are putting more load, or you are causing the liquidation price to come closer to the current price. Why? Because you are borrowing more money. So it's like you are already in debt and you are borrowing more. So the more you are borrowing, the more debt that is being put on you. So your liquidation price draws closer to your average price or your current price. Okay. So it's best that when you are trading futures, and then the market is going against your position, the best thing you are supposed to do is to invite or add more money to support the trade, okay, instead of opening margin calls. Because if you open margin calls, you are losing more. So it's either you trade without margin calls or you trade with a stop loss or a stop limit. Okay, so either you trade margin calls or you trade with a stop loss or a stop limit. Okay, all right. So when you are trading futures and then market is going against your position and you realize that the market is really going to go against your position, it's either you close the trade. The best thing is actually to set a stop loss to close the trade than to put too much money in the capital. Okay, all right. It's the same thing. I'm just using different words: stop loss and stop limit. It means they are stopping the limit at which the asset is going against your position. So it's the same thing: stop loss or stop limit. Okay, so you don't use DC or you don't use margin calls in futures trading. So please let's take note. So if you allocate, you just transfer funds into your futures. So let's say you have funds in your funding, you transfer it into your futures account. Okay, with that one, it will maintain the margin position that you are holding. It will maintain it instead of increasing it for your liquidation price to get closer to your current price, to hold your margin in position for you. Okay, but I advise that it's best you use stop losses. So you risk a capital that you will be able to lose or you can afford to lose. So assuming you have $100 capital in your futures account, and then you would want to use 20% of your $100, which is 20 USDT. Out of that 20 USDT, there should be an amount that you are willing to lose out of the 20. So usually it refers to as the risk to reward ratio. So the amount you are willing to risk against the profit that you are going to make if the trade should go in your position or in favor of your position. Okay, so when you use $20 to trade, let's say you set that the profit you want to take is 3%. Okay, you want to take a 3% profit, then you should be ready to risk at something less than 3%. So let's say you are ready to risk 1% of that capital. However, if the market should go in your position, then you will be winning 3% of that particular capital. Okay, so that is actually one of the ways to manage your capital when it comes to futures trading, right? Then now there is also the need for you to use or put all your assets on isolation or isolated form instead of what cross margins. So let me show it to us on Binance. So when you come to Binance, okay, and then you tap on futures. Okay, now with this one, you cannot most people have been asking whether you can just do something to change all the assets from cross to isolated. You have to do them one by one. Okay, so you have to take your time and do them one after the other, or you can just decide to select maybe your best 30 or best 50 assets, and then you change all of them to isolated. But if you want to trade with the signals that are coming in, then it means that the signal can pass anywhere. So you have to actually change all your assets from cross to isolated. And this is how to do that. When you tap on the futures account, where the asset is below the asset, okay, after you've done all the setup at the preferences and all that, below the asset here, you see we have cross, okay. So you tap on the cross. When you tap on the cross, it will pop up this way. You'll be given margin mode, cross, and then isolated. So you have isolated here. So you tap on the isolated, and then that asset will be put on isolated mode. Okay. So you do that for all the coins that you want to trade on. So I tap on it, then I select isolated. Now, because I have not done this setup on this particular phone, I'm not allowed. So you have to make sure that you have done all those settings, and those videos are on the Crypto Ambassadors channel. Okay, you can look at that, and then you do all these setups. Okay, all right. So once you have these settings, you can now change it from cross to isolated. You see, it's done successfully. So you do that, then you select another coin, and then you do that. So make sure that your assets are on isolated mode, okay, not cross mode. Maybe next week we'll look at the key differences between isolated and cross, and why it should be on isolated and not cross, okay, or cross margins. Right. Now, let's look at how to use Royal Q to set a stop loss or a stop limit. So, assuming you open your Royal Q, okay, when you open your Royal Q, I pray that I'm able to do it here because this account is not activated. Okay. All right. So assuming you open your Royal Q this way, and then you select the asset that you would want to trade on. Oh, so I'm okay. Let me log in with my account here. I think that will help. Please spare me a minute.
Okay, please, I stopped the screen from sharing. So once you are done entering your credentials, you can reshare again. Thank
Okay.
you. I hope we are all learning, right? You're learning, you're jotting some important points down.
Okay. So oh, application code. So maybe you can ask some question. Okay.
Okay, so he's going to address all our questions once he's done with the presentation. Let's just give him the time to log in, okay? We are all learning. Everybody is learning, okay? So just jot notes down. All right.
Okay.
So If you are ready, please continue. You can share your screen again. Thank you.
All right. Okay. 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 Because I believe you can see my screen now.
Yeah, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay. So when you log into your Royal queue this way, and then you want to select the asset that you want to trade. Okay. So let's just select any coin. So let's say you want to trade Epic. And then you go to create. Now, no, this is sports. Okay. All right. So let's say you want to trade this asset, CATI USDT, and then you have activated this coin. Okay. So let me um okay. So let me activate this particular coin. So let's assume I've done all my setups and all that. Okay. And then I save. Now, the moment I activate this coin, you can see that the coin will now start running. Now take note, there is what we have close here, okay, and then we have buy here. Now this buy is what deals with your DCA or your dollar cost average or your margin call drops. So if it is in sports trading, would have used this buy for manual replenishment or to buy more of the asset. But in futures, it's not best to utilize this to say you are buying more, but rather setting a stop loss using this close button here. Okay, this close we have here is what you can use to close your position. So in spot, your close is the sell. Close is sell in spot, then buy is buy. Okay, so when you see close here on futures, it means that sell or to close your position. Okay, so now if I should activate this coin, okay, and it should start running. So I have activated this coin. I must be ready to lose, let's say, 1% or 2% of the capital I have invested, depending on the profit I want to take for that particular coin. So if I want to take 3% of this asset, it means that I am going to set my whole position take profit to be what, 3%. Then I will now calculate, or I will use trading view to check. Unfortunately, I don't have trading view, but God willing, next week we'll do all of that so that it will be easy to explain all those things. But I think when you pay attention, you will get it. So you look at the average price that you have. Okay, so this is how to calculate your risk to reward ratio. How much you want to risk, and then how much reward you earn if you execute the trade. So you take note of your average price. Okay, so my average price here is 0.0774. Now, if I open my trading view app and I draw my horizontal line, if I draw my horizontal line on the price of 0.0774, okay, then I'll now use my price range. I'll set my price range exactly on the average price where I've drawn the line. And then if I want to take 3% profit with a 3%, once it gets 3%, wherever it gets to with a 3%, the bot will now close the trade and take your profit for you. But what if the market goes against your position? So that one, You will now set your price range on the horizontal line for the average price. Then you drag it 1% down. So when you drag it 1% down, whichever price tag that your average line will fall on, or your price range will fall on, that price becomes your stop loss. Okay, so that price becomes your stop loss. So you now come back, you take note of that particular price, then you come to your royal queue, and then you tap on the close. So when you tap on close, it will give you this interface. Okay, when you get this interface, what you do is that where we have sell quantity, okay, where we have sell quantity, now if you would want to close the entire position, you tap on 100% confirm, then your trade will close completely. But if you are using the stop loss to close it, I think you type it at um remaining position amount. Let me see if it's like that with the iPhone. uh, okay, so you have to first tap on market price. Okay, with the iPhones you have to first tap on the market price. When you tap on market price, then the space that has been opened next to the market price here, after you tap on market price first, then this space that has been provided here, you now enter the value that you got when you calculated or you checked for your 1% risk. So if let's say the 1% I'm ready to lose is that I'm actually longing this coin. So if the coin should rather go against my position, it means that I should be ready to lose 1% of it. And assuming I checked my trading view and the 1% is on a price of 0.0751. Okay, so it means that I'm going to enter that price here. So I have 0.0751. And you see that when I enter that, the bot would give you the estimated sell profit amount. Okay, it will give you the estimated sell profit amount here. So if it is too huge for you, you will know what to do, whether to close the trade there and then, or you recalculate your amount that you want to put into the trade. So because the amount that I've set up for the trade is very small, so my estimated sell profit too is small. But if I'm taking more profit of 3%, I earn more. If market should go against me by 1%, I just lose 1% of my capital that is in the trade. So when you do this, after you have input um your sell amount or the close position amount here, then you now confirm. Okay, you tap on the confirm button and then you confirm it. So it will appear here for you. So you see sell, trigger price, and then you see cancel order. So the trigger price will be there, 0.0751. That's if the market should go against your position and reaches this amount or this price of the asset, the bot will close your position automatically. It wouldn't wait for it to reach your liquidation price. So if you look down here, you will see that my liquidation price is 0. This is my liquidation price here, 0.0516. And then my stop loss is here, 0.0751. So you can just imagine, instead of it going against my position so much for the coin to reach this value for me to get liquidated, once it reaches 0.0751, it hits my stop loss and I lose, let's say, just $2 or $3 of my capital. But if it should go in my favor or if it should go according to my position, I'm going to make, let's say, $10 or $15 or $5. So you lose, let's say, $1 to gain $3, or you lose $2 to gain $6. So your risks should be smaller and then your rewards should be higher. So you should be very precise with the trade you are entering, and then make sure that you are in a good position to pick that asset, and you are ready to risk the amount you are putting into the trade. Okay. Huh. Most of us have experienced liquidation so many times. One thing about futures is that if you don't see liquidation, you don't learn. So the more you get liquidated, the more you learn. Huh. Initially, we were trading without stop losses and then with margin calls, but those were actually the deadly moves. They were the things that will actually cause your um, asset to be liquidated easily. Okay, so I believe today you have taken something. So let me now check the comment section to see if there are questions, or if anybody has a question, you can ask. Okay, so I've done this. I asked same questions on ChatGPT with $50 capital to trade on futures. And I was given just three margin calls. Even with that, was reduced from $10. Yes, three times. Sorry for your loss, Solida Doris. Loss maybe actually a pain.
Yeah, so we learn
By
by
the shame.
doing. Exactly. You know what I was we learned from
Yes,
the main Zoom was we should go in for cross margin instead of isolated.
isolated.
And I
Yeah.
had more than 300 USDT, so 100 for each coin. I was using the first 1x, then later to 10x. So
Mm,
when one coin went against me and I got liquidated, it affected the rest of the coins, though
yeah.
it was not up to liquidating those coins. Everything just went down the drain. Like I
Mm.
lost everything. So then I came to unlearn that I have to rather be on isolated. So yesterday I started trading on with isolated and I could see a lot of change. And I got assistance with ChatGPT to use the stop loss. I used it on one of the coins instead of like losing everything. I
Yeah.
rather lost only $2, and I was so excited because I'm like, I would have been crying by now. So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So Papa says with futures margin call, it also depends on how you set your multiple buying ratios. Example 0.1. Yes, but you see, with them multiple buying ratios, that's the margin calls. Once you are using margin calls, it means that you are borrowing more. Okay, so each margin that the bot buys, you are borrowing because your your leverage multiple is set and you cannot change it once you activate your trade. So if you are picking 10x and then your buying amount is, let's say your first buying amount is $100, you change your multiple buying amount so that the $100 will reduce. Though it will reduce, but the more it is buying, the more borrowing you are causing. I get it. So once you are using margin calls, you are borrowing more. Okay. Can someone use what formula to calculate the stop loss instead of the trading view? Hmm, I've not thought of that yet, but I'll work out and see. I have mathematicians here, so we'll
Okay.
try and do that and see.
Yeah,
Mm.
Rabbi, because ChatGPT gave me some formula, though
Okay.
I haven't molded, but I just
Okay.
followed the formula, and that was what I used to calculate the stop loss. Because maybe one might not get the time to use the trading view, or those who do not have knowledge in it, it might be difficult
Yeah.
for them.
For them.
That's why I
Okay.
thought like there is a formula that would be so easy, just
Uh,
like the way we calculate the first buying
buying them.
amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Thank
We'll look at that and then maybe
you.
hopefully our
Next
next
week.
meeting.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So please, if you're using 10x, yeah. So if you are using a 10x leverage, unless your capital is 25 USDT, Because of the leverage, it is the leverage amount that the percentage will be calculated on. I believe this question is against the funding fee, right? The other.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was asking
So
if the 1%.
yes.
No,
So
not the
if it's
funding fee. You made mention of another fee again that you pay 1%. Oh, I don't think it's the funding fee. When you were explaining the stop loss.
that one is let's say your um the amount you are ready to lose.
Okay, that would be 1% on. Is it on the whole
Of
250? Because or
1%,
25
1%
of the
of the
250
capital that you have in the
in
trade.
the position amount.
Yes.
Okay, so not the one on the exchange. On the exchange, if it's 250, it's 25 that shows over there because of the 10x. So it's not on the
Then
25, but on the 250.
yes.
Okay, thank you. That's clear.
I let my funding fee show at future handling. Okay, so I think I showed how to isolate and then how to see your funding fee. Okay, so I think the same question that
Maybe, please, with the funding fee, how you showed us on your screen, we are
yeah.
not able to see it on our screen. I don't know why. I don't know because we've already activated the feature, so we are not able to see it the way you illustrated it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why.
What?
I thought I was the one, but I think most people are experiencing that as well.
Oh, okay. So
For us to see the countdown.
when you go to the futures, when you tap on the futures button at the bottom of your screen, you don't see the funding stroke countdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't see it. We
Okay.
don't see it. The down one. We only see the cross or the 20x and the single asset, then open and close. I don't know if it's hidden somewhere.
Okay. So this one
Like
doesn't show.
yours, each coin is showing. Yeah, ours is not showing.
It's
But
not
you're using
showing.
an iPhone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like I just traded fun. I wish I could see the
Yes.
countdown or the distance. Yeah,
Mm,
but there's nothing. If you like, I could share my screen for you to see.
okay.
So let me just briefly share my screen.
Okay. See.
So I was thinking it could be at the top here, just like the way yours is showing, but
Yes.
it's not showing.
It's not showing.
I changed the coins to. I didn't see the countdown.
Okay.
Let me
Oh.
change to BTC.
Have you updated your
My
Binance?
app? No,
Yes.
I have. I don't know if it's supposed to be updated. I don't think
So let's check
so.
the update and let's see.
Okay.
Because the phone I'm using, the person doesn't even use it to trade,
Oh, okay.
and it
I
showed
was
custom.
thinking maybe if you have never traded before, that is when. Oh, update. Okay, let's update it
Uh-huh.
and see.
Yeah.
Maybe they just added that. I was thinking because the person have not traded with it before, that is why.
No.
But let's see.
Mr. Ernest says his is showing.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Ennis says his is showing. So probably
Yeah.
because mine is old. Let me see. Yeah, it's still not showing.
It's still not showing.
I don't know. Maybe I'm using an iPad too. Oh, it's showing here. I see it
Okay, it's
now.
on the left
It's
side.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you all see it?
Yes. Yes.
Hello?
So yours is on the
Yeah.
left
So
side.
that is it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So I can check it for any of the assets, right?
Yes.
Before I place the trade. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I see this one too.
Mm.
Oh, this is 58 minutes. Just 1 minute.
So
Then this fan
let's
coin there
tap on the
is so close.
funding fee. Let's see something.
Okay. So, and the funding fee too is very expensive for the fund.
Yeah,
For the fund.
negative 0.1. So tap on it.
Hello.
Please, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. Why should I tap on? Your line was breaking.
Okay. Tap on the funding stroke, the countdown. Just tap on
Into the
that.
timer.
Yes. You can tap on it. The funding. Just tap on the funding stroke countdown.
Sorry, my network went off. I didn't hear what you said. You said I should tap on the countdown.
Yes.
When I click on it, okay, yeah, I've seen it now. So
Funding rate
funding
history. So tap on the funding rate history. Let's see.
okay.
Okay.
Is it this one, please?
Go back with the arrow. Let me see.
Okay.
Okay. Then tap on the assets.
Should I click on it again?
No, tap on assets. I want to see if they have ever
Assets.
charged. Yes.
Hey, wait, oh, I think it's my network. Let me change. Hold on.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, now I can hear you. Please, what
Okay.
did you say I should do?
So you tap on assets.
Assets. Okay.
Yes. Then select the futures. Okay. Then at the top right corner of your screen, you see a box with something like a small clock on it.
Yeah.
Tap on that one. Then you see funding fee.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So I
So
didn't pay funding fee for Solana. I didn't know.
so these are the funding fees, and then
Wow, the fund is so expensive.
so you see fund is 0.3. So this one was credited to you.
I was
If
rather
it
credited to me.
yes, so if it
Because
is
it's green.
it's green.
Okay.
If it's green, it means that it has been credited to you. If it's red, it means that it has been deducted from you.
From me. Okay. Okay.
So this is where you see all the funding fees that you
So
have paid for.
when do I rather get a funding fee? When do they credit me? Is it when I win in my trades?
When you are shorting a position,
yeah,
and there is negative funding fee, it is rather taken away from you.
Oh, okay.
But if you are shorting a position and it is positive, it's credited to you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow.
So you even paid 1 point something here.
Yeah.
On fund 1.2.
June. Yeah.
Yes.
1.1 again, 0.51.
Yes.
Wow. So they deduct it from my total asset, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Interesting. A lot of people don't know about this.
No.
Crazy, man. Okay, is it the same as the trading fee we pay on the spot market? Is it the same?
No, it's different.
Okay, so with the futures, do we pay trading fee?
I'm not sure futures pay trading fee.
Trading fee. Okay. Okay. All right. So those of you that were asking how to check the isolated, okay, so you first go to futures. Let's say they've given a signal. The signal is 4th USDT, okay. So you tap on 4th USDT. Oh, this is already on isolated. So let me choose another coin like EPT. So EPT, you can see at the top here that it is cross. So I'll just simply quickly, some of the trades, they say we have 1 minute or 3 minutes. So I quickly change it. Then I go to my trade, and I already have a save settings. So I just either enter it into the long or the short. Then you are good to go. By so doing, you don't waste a lot of time. Okay, so presenter, please continue.
All right, so
I
I
think
think
there are other questions, or that's all.
yeah. So let me see. Mr. Joe Davis says, but I thought the leverage only affects the first buy and not the margin calls. No, you see, because you cannot change the leverage multiple. You see, once you select your leverage multiple to be 10x, that's it. It's fixed. You can't change it. Okay. So whatever new buy that you do, it goes with the 10x. So let's say you use 20 USDT as your first buy against 10x. That's going to be 200 USDT. And then you set your margin call drops. Let's say you make your multiple buying ratio 0 point something. And the coin goes against your position where it has to now buy, let's say, just 5 USDT. It won't just buy 5. It will buy 5 against the 10x. So it will buy 50. Okay. So it will buy 50 USDT because of the leverage multiple. Because the leverage multiple is fixed. If it's 10x, it's 10x. Whatever margin call you use, it will still affect your leverage multiple. So I believe this is clear. So I think if these are all the questions, I don't know if there's people. Okay. There are no hands raised too as well. All right. So I think Leader Doris, I think we can end it for today, but hopefully in our next meeting we'll do I'll put things together well so that we can see everything. With my phone, if I join and share screen, it will
Yeah,
throw
I
me
know.
out. So I have to quickly come to a friend so that
I understand.
we do that. So
Not to
next,
improvise.
yes. So in our next meeting, we will do that, and then hopefully we'll be able to look at the things well categorically. It's only
So
trading
someone is
lessons
asking, it's only trading view you can use to
to
calculate the.
calculate.
No. Yesterday I used ChatGPT to calculate it. Let me see if I can get the formula.
Okay.
Just that I didn't really choose the formula. Like I just entered the figure it gave me, but there is a formula for calculating the stop loss. I'm trying to see if I can get it from here so I can share my screen. Stop loss calculation. Okay, so it said stop loss equal to entry price plus 1 plus stop loss percentage. That is the formula it gave. Let me see if I can share my screen over here, then you can all read it. So if someone cannot use trading view, or they don't have trading view, or they don't have the time, you can use the formula. Okay. So short trade stop loss formula. When you are short, you are betting the price will go down. So your loss happens if the price goes up too much. Then the formula stop loss price equal to entry price multiplied by 1 plus stop loss percentage. So let's say, for example, you entered a short on BTC at 65,000 and you want to risk a 5% loss. Stop loss equal to 65,000 times 1 plus 0.5. So it's a 5% they converted into the decimal as 0.5. 65,000 times 1.05 will give you 68,250. So the figure you enter at the stop loss has to be 68250. So if BTC goes up to 68,250, that's your stop loss. You should close the trade to avoid further losses.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that is it. So you can use the calculator, not only
With the trading view.
Yeah, the trading view.
Yeah.
So whoever asked the question, okay. So I'm going to stop my screen.
Okay. So I think there are no further questions. All
Okay,
right.
guys, if there are no questions, let's give some love hearts to Rabbi, our presenter, Rabbi Elvis. He's in Ghana and he's one of our team members. He's really one vibrant and smart team member of ours. So let's show some love in the chat. Thank you so much, Rabbi, for sharing with us. You know, sharing, if someone loves you, they share. And the more you share, the more you gain more knowledge. Okay, so thank you so much, Rabbi. We hope to see you the next week because we'll be educating more people on futures, how to pick up a signal, how to calculate the first buying amount. Because most people, when they attend the crypto ambassadors meeting, because of the crowd there and sometimes the presenters, their accent and the way they move fast, like everybody understand the whole thing, it's kind of slow some people. So that is why we are doing our Wednesday meetings to also help the slow learners or the slow or the new people too as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Mr. Ennis says he has the question.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ennis, yeah, a call, so please unmute and let's hear your question.
Okay. Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Mr. Ravi and my leader Doris. From the onset, you said the funding fee when it's, let's say, -1 or -0.123, it's higher, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I'm shorting. Okay, I'm shorting, and I know that I will definitely pay to the longs. You know, when you are shorting, you pay to the longs, the people buying, right? And I realized that my take-in profit in Royal Q is still higher. Can I still ignore?
Yes, if you can still ignore if you want to.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
say your take profit is you are trading with $1,000, and then at the end of the day your take profit, let's say 300 USDT, and the funding fee rate is 20 or 10. If you deduct from the 300, you are still in profit. So if you want to risk that, you can still go ahead and then ignore it. But there are certain funding fees that if you ignore them, if you don't take care, you regret it later. Especially when it's -1, -2, thereabouts. Because if you are in a position the countdown goes against you and your capital is huge, usually when your capital is huge, you know your percentages too are huge. If your capital is huge and you're taking, let's say you're trading with $10,000 and the funding rate is 2%, that's almost like $200.
Yes, please.
So,
Yes.
you see, so based on your capital and then the percentage, if you are ready to let it go based on the profit you are going to earn, you can still allow the trade to run.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Papa Charles says he has a question. Please, you can ask your question.
Let me unmute him first.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Charles, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, very interesting. I just want to ask, before one engages in futures trading, do you have to do all those settings before? Maybe one may not know. So all those settings that you have outlined right now, do we have to go through with our Binance, set all those up before we start? Because
okay, with the isolated, for instance, it is best that you take time and then change all your assets to isolated.
Okay.
Because maybe a signal may drop. Usually, leader VC, for instance, he can drop a signal and give you 1 minute. So with that 1 minute, if you are now going to change your cross to isolated, and then by the time you count, trade national. So you have to just get time 1 day be okay, instead of maybe going through charts, just change all the points to isolated.
Only the USDT.
Yes.
But I
the
think
ones on Royal Q.
Mr. Charles is referring to the settings of, when you are new to futures, you first need to activate the futures, like you try the free trial period trade. Then you also go and edit it in your API binding. You need to go and enable futures. Then you come back and change to the hedge mode. Then also single assets, then 20x. I think that is what he's referring to. Mr. Charles, that is not it, because those are the basic
things
settings you need before you can even place your first trade in futures. But aside that too, you need to make sure that when you are about to trade, you've already placed it in isolated on the Binance, because on the exchange, all the coins are uncrossed. So you have to change it one after the other. You cannot do it all together. So that is it. Yeah.
Okay, so then there's a consequence there. If unable to do that, what is the consequences?
Unable
you can't trade.
No, you mean the settings or the isolated to cross?
Isolated to cross.
For the isolated to cross, if you don't change it, you are going to be liquidated if you are trading, or like you're trading a lot of coins, more than one or more coins. When you are liquidated in one, it affects the rest of the coins, even though they are not on time to liquidate. Yeah. I experienced that, and I've been liquidated 3 times.
And Doris, you need to help me do some of these things later.
I have a video of it on my YouTube channel. A lot of people watched it too.
I had no idea. I just heard it.
Okay. I'll make another video to correct the cross to isolated, so that people will understand that one, so that they don't make mistakes. Because those trading on the HDS today put it on cross instead of isolated. So we need to correct that. After the Zoom, I'll bring out a short announcement on the group, so that those trading on futures can correct that, so they don't get liquidated. I think, Rabbi, I confirmed what you said about not opening so many margin calls, but having more money on your futures. Because there is one of my trades, Fund liquidated me in 3 of my trades, but in one account it hasn't liquidated me, though it's in negative 700. It went as high as negative 900, then it dropped to negative 700. Do you know why? Because there is still more funds in that futures market.
Yes.
So when you said that today, then I'm like, no wonder, because I was asking myself, it's the same settings I did, the same cross. How come one was liquidated, the other?
And the other is not.
So when you said this today, I learned from it. So guys, you see why it's important for us to be attending meetings. If you don't attend all these things, you also go and fall into it, then you will not know. Okay, so thank you so much, Rabbi. I really appreciate it. So, Mr. Charles, is that all your questions for now? So I can lower your hand and give out the closing remarks.
Yes, okay. Okay, that's okay. That's okay for now.
Okay. All right, guys. So thank you all for joining in. Thank you, Rabbi, for spending time and educating all of us. We really appreciate. So, guys, we have one of our leaders to VC, and he generates the signals. In fact, he's so good at what he does. And guess what? Do you know where he learned it from? From our trainings. But most of you don't attend those trainings. If you don't, you will not be able to get all this knowledge. So those trading in the futures, you can go in for some of his trades, but make sure you are alert on your phone, because once he drops it, after 1 minute, you can't enter. unless you ask him privately if still the coin is viable for you to enter, then perhaps you could. Okay, so let's take things seriously. He used just $2,000 to make more than 3,000 within in less than 3 days, guys. So let's take the business very, very seriously. All right, that is all for tonight. Thank you all, and I wish you all good night, and we meet again. Unfortunately, Saturday I won't be available, but I will communicate that with Leader Julius, so he will get a different speaker for Saturday. If not, then Saturday's meeting might be cancelled. But next week, Saturday, hopefully, and Monday we'll meet again. Wednesday we'll meet again. Okay. Mr. Ede says he will over you with margin calls on futures. I swear. It's crazy. On spot, you need to open more margin calls. On futures, it's opposite. And if you don't understand all these things, you'll be saying, are you mad? Why are you saying we should open more margin calls? You need more money rather, because if you open the margin calls, it will use it. Okay, it will use it to buy more. And maybe the trade is rather going against you. Then now you don't have any balance left on your futures account. Then you get liquidated. So guys, we are learning. We are new in these futures, okay? Rabbi and other leaders started last year. We were scared. Some started early January, okay? So now that we are learning, so let's all learn together. So it's not like someone has learned too much than another. Okay, so guys, God be with you all. Have a lovely night. Love you all. You'll get the recorded version of the Zoom on